in the months of April and May and June. Maybe not so much June. June's 109, not a good time to look at houses necessarily in Tucson, Arizona. But that's what we're looking at from that standpoint. Last year, the cost of administration, our department, was $720 per household, compared to a $707 per household cost in 2017. Looking a little bit more closely at that, our common area went up slightly. We did a lot of erosion projects last year, and that's what drove that project, and a lot of rock work over on Copper Crest and down in 21, and we've done some work over by Unit 7. So you're looking at, we went from 294 to 321. Facilities went up a little bit. We have added more. We had a lot of unusual things happen last year. We had a food truck that decided to run into our portico. And so a lot of things that the facility team has had to adjust to and had to take hold on. So you know, we're up slightly in that department. Janitorial, that's primarily due to the minimum wage increase as well as patrol. Our fitness center stays pretty steady. Basically, the way our fitness center works is we have a fitness coordinator over there. We also have a nighttime person now as well, servicing the residents. What we do with Vital Moves is basically Vital Moves pays us a dollar figure to come in and teach classes, and they actually subsidize the costs of all the electricity for the facility and some of the maintenance costs on that. So our fitness center is really very inexpensive per individual homeowner. So $43 last year run the fitness center. Clubhouse has come down slightly, and a lot of that has to do with energy efficient methods that our facility team has taken on. Certainly, we've seen a lot better increases in our HVAC systems and lighting that have been installed, because we're into LED lighting throughout the clubhouse at this point. Reviewing the projects that were done in 2018, Mike and his team did finish the golf course bunkers. Were completed on the SaddleBrooke course. Catalina Recreation Center addition was done for the pool room. We did put in some new bikes over and a treadmill over at the fitness center. The fountains, and I think this is probably from a marketing standpoint one of the nicest things, that the fountain on SaddleBrooke was replaced. We get a nice, beautiful fountain look at night now, as well as during the day. It's a nice entry into SaddleBrooke 1, and that was a project that was taken on by not only the golf course, but also our facility team helped with that installation. We did resurface SaddleBrooke Boulevard East, and I guess this is the time that I like to introduce John LeBar. John is the #1 volunteer as far as I'm concerned here in SaddleBrooke. I'm sorry everybody, but that's my favorite guy over there. He helps us with all the specifications and everything, and does an extraordinary job for us. We did put the last of the 4 tennis courts. We rebuilt those, courts 5 through 8, and then we did rebuild the south side of the portico, as I said. That was basically done with insurance funds from our vendor that was kind enough to run into it. Thank you very much, Dave. We appreciate that food vendor. Thank you. So anyway, the next thing, what are we going to do in 2019? We've got some big things ahead. We over the next month, the board will be approached about resurfacing Acacia Hills and the portico area. We're going to be ripping out the asphalt right in front of underneath the portico, so that is new and put down. That was actually scheduled for last year, but somebody ran into the portico, so we had to move it around to the other side. So we're doing it this year, and we do have pricing coming in. And John, I've got 3 bids now, so we'll take a look at those. Hopefully, either later on today or tomorrow. The soil remediation we talked about is actually where they're going to apply sand to the golf courses, all 3 courses. Another big project for our golf course maintenance group. John Reed, our new operations director, will be approaching the board probably in May about the pool deck replacement and restroom drainage over at the pools. Big project for us, and we'd like to get that on the books. We have a team of people right now working on the community building concept / parking. And basically we've run into a bit of an issue. We went up and talked to the county, and we said, you know, what we want to do is we want to add so many square feet. How many parking spaces do we need to add? And they said, oh no, what we want you to do is go back and look at all your buildings and tell us how much parking you have versus how much you would be required based on the building occupancy. And so Don Aratola was very nice, sat down with all his spreadsheets and everything from the facilities, and said, well, we've got a little bit of a problem. We're actually, and by the way, the one thing the county says, golf cart parking doesn't count. And that statement right there is a big problem for us, and we're going to be working with the with the county on that one. Actually, we're going to set up a meeting and we're going to go back and talk to them. Based on that, we were about 147 parking spaces short. But if we count the golf cart parking, now we're only about 40 spaces short. And the actual need, I think, is 449? Does that sound right? 409, something like that. We're about 40 off at this particular point in time, if we count the golf course spaces. So we do want to go back to the county and talk about that. And then the next step, the next step is not really designing a building. It's actually looking at our parking and saying, okay, now if we design a 3,000 square foot building, we need 60 additional spaces. And if we do a 2,000, we need 40. So how many more spaces can we add to our existing parking in order to meet the demand or the building occupancy that this new facility would require? So the next step in our process is, first step is to go to the county and say, this is what we have, are you willing to accept this? And the next step would be, okay, let's go to the architects and let's talk about our parking situation and take a closer look at our parking and see what we can do. We have some ideas about expansion, either one way or the other. We do have some islands that could be cut down and things moved around, so there are some opportunities for us to expand parking to allow for a new facility. But the process is much more in detail, I think, than what we originally thought. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is survey on amenities to identify the direction for funding. This is something we talked about last year, I think around the time that we were doing the pickleball town halls. And this is a real important survey. The one thing I would ask, and it's going to be in the communicator coming out, it's real important that you have your email address attached to your house number, because we are going to be emailing this survey out to you. Kurt's helping us out with getting everything into SurveyMonkey, and basically we're talking about all the amenities that are available currently in SaddleBrooke. We're trying to figure out, okay, what's the usage on everything and what do you want to see from a growth perspective. I know that we're in the middle of doing pop tennis trials, and those are going fairly well. It's being very well received. People are very excited about the new sport. One of the questions on there that's going to be near and dear to our hearts on the community building is we're going to ask you, do you own a golf cart? Because we want to be able to go back to the county and say, look, 75% of our residents own golf carts, and golf cart parking does count. Because that's basically how people get around in SaddleBrooke. These are private roads, and this is how you get up here. So those are the things we've got planned. So it's going to be an exciting year. Certainly, this is just a quick look at some of the projects planned. It's about, the projects are actually probably 4 to 5 times longer than this. I don't want to go through them all today because otherwise it'd take up too much of your time. But I just wanted to again reiterate, the staff is working diligently for you, and we appreciate all the support that you've given the staff. Without you folks, obviously, we wouldn't be here. But we're excited to be here, excited to do some new and exciting thing for SaddleBrooke, to put them at a level, or the SaddleBrooke at a level that I believe all the residents really like to see. Things well maintained and well taken care of, and improvements being made all the time. So thank you for your time this afternoon. I am going to introduce now a guy that does a whole lot of work, and he's another volunteer. His name is Devin Lenendorf, and he actually runs Senior Village, which is an extraordinary, important side of our community here. So, David, we'll turn it over to you.